So I think that's everyone. Hi everyone, hope everyone is well. This will be uploaded to YouTube, so if you don't want to be in the YouTube video, please turn off your video, and please keep your audio muted until the end where we can start asking questions. If you do have questions, you can write them in the chat, and then we'll go through them at the end. So we've got Megan, which is she's head of rentals, and we've got Angela, the director of Ideal Homes. So Angela, do you want to start with the questions?
Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And today is going to be about rentals. So I'm the director of Ideal Homes. I've been working with Ideal Homes for about 5.5 years. I arrived in Portugal 14.5 years ago on New Year's Eve to see what it was like and never went back. And Megan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Megan. So I'm originally from London and I've been living in the Algarve for 5 years. I'm working in Ideal Homes for all of that time as well. I manage the rentals department of Ideal Homes, and I'm looking forward to giving you some information today. I hope it's helpful.
Charlie?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I came here a year ago and I was on holiday, and I loved the country so much that I decided to stay, and I've been working here a year, and I'm in sales.
Okay, so Megan, why buy a rental property in the Algarve?
So the Algarve is a brilliant place to have a rental property. It's a year-round destination. People come from all over the world to the Algarve. They love it for many different reasons, but you get really good rental returns from the Algarve. One of the other good reasons to buy in the Algarve is that you get it yourself as a holiday home when you're not renting it. And it's got really friendly locals, amazing beaches, and really good food and wine as well. So it's a great place to have your holiday home.
Thank you. And which are the best areas for a rental property?
So this varies depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for purely rental investment, I would say Lagos or the Western Algarve. That brings the highest return per year. The property prices in the West are higher than, for example, the Eastern Algarve. Now, the Eastern Algarve is quite undiscovered compared to the West, and soon the East will come up in price. So the Western Algarve brings you rentals all year round, not just in the summer. In the winter, you get a lot of people from Canada and further afield coming over to spend long winters in the Algarve. You will make your highest return in Lagos, but in the Eastern Algarve, you'll also get rentals all year round, but you won't be charging just as much. Then you have the Central Algarve. Now, the Central Algarve is not as year-round as the West and the East, but you will always be fully booked in the summer because people know the Central Algarve, Albufeira, places like that. One thing to bear in mind with the Central Algarve is the prices to purchase are slightly inflated because of the Golden Triangle and its popularity. But yeah, for rental investment purely, it's the Western Algarve or the Eastern Algarve, such as Tavira, Cabanas.
And the prices, I do believe, in the Eastern are cheaper for you to first. If you've not got as much money to spend, you can get something for less amount than you would in Lagos. So does it swing and roundabouts in that sense?
It balances. If you invest more on a property in the Western Algarve, you're going to get a higher return yearly, whereas in the Eastern Algarve, you'll need to invest less, and your return will be in balance with that.
Okay, thank you. So what type of property is the most profitable and the easiest one to rent out?
Typically in the Algarve, the easiest rental investment is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment near the beach or near the town. And they rent all the time really well, and you're guaranteed to get that return. However, saying that, villas also do very well in the Algarve. One of our clients a couple of years ago invested €450,000 on a 5-bedroom villa and is now making more than €50,000 per year return. And he's using it as well himself in the winter for friends and family. So this is just looking at summer rentals. He's making $50,000 a year. So it's a really good second income.
Excellent. So what do you need to set up your property for a rental?
Okay, so to set up your property for a rental, you're going to need a rental license. That technically, within that cost, you will have the full fire safety kit for your guests. You'll receive a property inspection to check that the property is safe for rentals, and you will have everything you need, fire blankets, everything like that, to make sure your property is safe for your first guest. You also will need photographs. Obviously, the property will be fully furnished. We help you with every step of the way, depending on the type of property you buy. If you buy a new build property, we can help you with the very first steps. But if you buy a resale property, then we can help you just with your license if it doesn't already have one, and your professional photographs ready to start the advertising.
What role do you and your team play in renting out the property, Megan?
So I would be the one that meets you when you're first looking to start renting, and I'll talk you through the initial process and what we need to do. Like I said, I can help you with furnishing the property if that's required. I can help you with introducing you to the accountants we recommend for your rental license. I will set up your photographs, so one of my team would go and meet the photographer and ensure they take some really nice photographs of your property, and then I would pass you over to my really good reservations team. What they do is they're based in our head office, and they manage all of your calendars for you. They market your property online, and they arrange your CEF reporting, so that's for the governments. We comply with CEF, which is collecting the data from your guests when they arrive, like hotels do when you go on holiday, and submitting that to the authorities on your behalf. So all you need to do is know that your property's in good hands, and then once you have your booking, you'll just receive your income. So we manage all of the payments for you, and we just send on your income at the end of the guest stay.
How much is that going to cost me, Megan?
So our prices are from €1,000 per year and 10% commission. That's for a standard 2-bedroom apartment up to a 4-bedroom villa. If you have a larger capacity type property where we'll be looking after more people, then we charge €1,200 per year and 15% commission.
Okay, thank you. Of course, there will be taxes to pay on your rental income, and I know this is quite an interesting subject to people. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a separate webinar where we get a tax expert on, and he will be able to, or she will be able to explain more depth in the tax situation. We're not experts on tax, so we don't want to tell you anything that's not accurate at the moment, and it does change quite often. So we would rather do that. So we're going to do a webinar, and we'll let you know when that's going to be, so that you can tune into that as well. So Megan, how are you coping with COVID-19 at the moment?
Good question. It's a question on everyone's lips. We're coping quite well with it. Obviously, none of us could have predicted what was going to happen. And at first, we wasn't sure how things were going to go. But what's really good is I've got an amazing team with me, and we're working very hard to look forwards and assist our guests however we can. So a lot of our guests have been very nervous, and we've been speaking with them and, you know, being completely transparent with them. And if they had bookings for May, you know, we've arranged refunds for them or to reschedule their bookings. And for the summer, we're just taking it one day at a time, but we are looking ahead, and we are really, really excited for the remainder of this year and 2021. So our owners have been very understanding. We've explained the situation to them, and we've now opened up all of our properties calendars for the whole of 2021. And excitingly, we are receiving bookings already for next year. And yeah, we're looking forwards. We feel like next year is going to be a very, very busy summer. It's just this year we're not sure how it's going, because without the international travel, that's one thing. What is interesting is now we're receiving a lot of bookings internally. So people from the north of Portugal or from Lisbon, the capital, are now looking to come down to spend their summer in the Algarve. So all is not lost. We are now focusing on a different type of market. So we've adapted our strategy, and we are looking at the Portuguese market. and we are encouraging them to come and spend their summer in the Algarve. Our properties are open and they're ready. I've got a team on the road who are ready to meet them. Of course, we're covering all safety precautions and we're being safe, and we're providing deep cleans to the properties between guests, as we always do. But yes, at the moment we're dealing with it. We're looking after the properties and the owners. We are checking our properties on a regular basis, and we're feeding back to our owners, because if you think your property is in our hands, so it's our responsibility to treat your property as our own, keep open communication for those of our owners who aren't based in the Algarve, and just make sure that we get you as many bookings as we can in the current situation, and also prepare for the very busy summer we're going to have next year, and as soon as flights open again, because I tell you, everyone's going to be desperate for a holiday, me included, but we are really looking forward, yeah.
It's a good point as well, what you were saying about the internal holidays this year, because, I mean, we do get a lot of people come down from Lisbon in general, but I would imagine this year, because they've got to stay in their own country, it just means that, like for say the UK people will be staying in the UK, but the Portuguese people will be staying in Portugal. So it's, like you say, it's just swapping the person that's going to be renting rather than not having rentals at all. So yeah, we're expecting, I mean, Porto, they don't have too good a summer, so I'm sure they'll all be down here. Okay, so Charlie, have we got some more questions that people have been asking that we can add?
Yeah, so not so many questions, but more so about the taxes. But as we've said, we're going to cover that because a lot of people have a lot of questions about taxes, and we're not the experts. We're the experts on rentals and sales. So we're going to arrange a whole webinar on taxes so we can give everyone the correct information, and then we'll have brochures to send out and everything if you want to read through. We've had some,
also, can I just, sorry Charlie, can I just add on that as well, that the tax one as well will not just cover rental tax, we'll cover, you know, property tax and all things like that. Every kind of tax we'll be able to cover on that webinar. Thank you.
Charlie, sorry, so Charlie has asked, do you arrange any rentals in the Lisbon area? And I've said that we currently cover the Algarve and parts of Spain, but we can always introduce you to one of our trusted partner agents in the Lisbon area if you want to rent out your property there. And then Harish is asking, how are bookings progressing for this year in the Lagos area?
Okay, so in the Lagos area at the moment, we have a lot of guests in situ. Some of those were guests that were on holiday with us when the pandemic began, and they've extended their stay, and they've got some longer term bookings through that. And we're also having more guests coming down from Lagos, as it's named, from the north. Obviously nobody can travel at the moment between borders, so the Spanish border is completely closed, but the Algarve and the whole of Portugal is open. It's open for business, so we are taking care of the guests that we do have in situ at the moment. I have a team in Lagos who are available, and so what we have is we have the reservations department who are based at the head office, and then I have a team on the road who cover the entire Algarve, and these are our representatives. So if you rented your property with us, you'd be assigned your own property manager or representative, and they take care of everything in your property for you. They meet and greet all of your guests, and that is something you do have to be careful of, because some agencies in the Algarve, they do not provide that service. So your guests would be given a code, and they would access the property and not have any human contact. And that's not something we believe in. So here at Ideal Homes, we like the personal contact. We like to treat everybody as family, and to make people know that they're not on their own. At any point during their stay, they can call us. We have a 24/7 emergency line, and if they were locked out at 2 in the morning, we'd go and we'd let them in. If something broke in the property, they call us and we go and fix it. So we are your eyes and ears on the ground, so you can relax when you're not in the Algarve. And times like this, when you can't get over to visit your property, you can relax that we are looking after it for you. We pay bills for you. We arrange maintenance of the property. We can, we can do more or less anything for you that you need. That is our job, is to look after you and your property because you're not here. So the guests that are in Lagos at the moment, we've been taken care of as we would any other time, and our office is open. Our representatives are working out on the road. everything is working as normal, and it was during the lockdown as well. We were following procedures, but now we are out of the lockdown, so it's even better. But yes, the bookings in Lagos, to answer your question, Harish, they are happening, as they always will in Lagos. We joke about this. Lagos is the one place it's always booked. So one of my colleagues, Sarah, who looks after the majority of Lagos, she says to me, when will I get a day off? And I say, Sarah, while you're in Lagos, you won't get a day off, because we're always busy in Lagos. And it's going to continue that way. And we're growing and growing in Lagos. We've got about 10 new properties that we're about to launch, just in Lagos alone. So it's going to be a very, very busy year for us ahead.
So we have a couple more questions coming in, but I just want to say thanks to Karen. She said, love all the female power on the call. Congrats, ladies. So yeah, that's a lovely comment. So a lot of people are asking what the flights are like, and obviously we know that from the 22nd of May they're starting to open daily from London to Porto. Obviously that's not to Faro. We're not too sure if you need to have a reason to travel. Megan said that Ryanair published a video on their Facebook of them cleaning the flights. And Tim's saying, have you found a home for Mrs. Pringles yet? Mrs. Pringles is the cat that lives in our office. So when do we think flights are going to start opening up for people that aren't in?
So the flights are opening up from the beginning of June. It depends on the airline. Some are starting earlier than others. And we're also able to travel outside of Portugal. So at the moment there are daily flights going in and out of Lisbon to London. And I'm sure there are to other countries as well. As for general tourism resuming as normal, none of us know when that's going to be. So that's why at the moment we're just working day by day, to be honest with you, as it comes. We're hoping that things resume soon, but only if it's safe for everybody. Obviously, our priority is keeping ourselves and our guests safe, and we don't want to risk that or jeopardise that in any way. But we are very looking forward to the next few months, because we believe that people are going to be able to start travelling again. And also, like I said, we are having a lot of contact with our Portuguese nationals. The beaches are better, the weather's better. I think even the food and wine is better and cheaper. So that's why they love the Algarve, and that's why we do as well. And we're looking forward to that. And we're just adapting. We're adapting each day as it comes. And we're looking forward to seeing how things change over the next year, because this couldn't have been predicted. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from Jack. We're in contact already and we're helping him find a property. I believe that you were thinking of a Dega in Lagos. He's asking if we've got kind of a guide of what we would charge if someone was to purchase a property. Can we give them a breakdown from different properties? So we've got a couple of links that we can send to you. So after this, we'll be contacting everyone from the webinar and I can provide you these links. But I will leave all of our emails in the chat. So Megan can kind of give you an estimate of, you know, if you were going to buy a property in Lagos, 2 beds, 2 bath with a communal pool with sea views, she knows kind of what you would charge in which different months. So we can provide you with that. And Lisa is asking, have you seen prices drop on properties for sale? So I'll just cover the sales bit and then you can talk about the rentals. So at the moment we've been having a lot of reduced properties just for the pandemic. So it's a good time to buy now because it's quite, you know, the market, we don't know what's going to happen, no one does. But I think the prices are going to go back up as soon as all the borders open. So Megan, what would you say about the prices of the properties that you're renting at the moment? Have they changed? Are you making them cheaper? Do you think the prices will go back up when the border?
Okay, so usually with a rental property, what you would expect is you would increase your pricing each year. As you gain more and more rental experience, you'll get more reviews, and then we increase your pricing each year. For this year, what we have agreed with our owners is to keep the prices the same, which is better than reducing them, but also it's not the usual. So usually we increase them. For this year, we're saying, okay, why don't we first try keeping them the same, opening up your calendars until the end of 2021 with the same pricing as you had for this year. And that has been working. So at the moment, we've opened up the calendars, we've kept all the pricing the same as this year, and we are receiving bookings already for May, June, July, August, even I think I saw 2 for September. So there is now room, okay, to think about increasing the pricing, but we didn't want to put ourselves and the owners out of any chance of receiving these bookings. So for this year, they agreed with us, okay, let's keep them the same in the view to review it in a few months' time, depending on the situation. So for now, we've already guaranteed some of them a few €1,000 already for 2021. And then what we will do in a few months' time, when we look at the situation again and once travel resumes, is we will then increase their prices. So they might have booked 2 weeks out at this year's rate, but then the rest of the year, we will increase it. But at least they know they've guaranteed that income. So it's pros and cons, it's how you look at it, but all of our owners at this current state were happy to keep their prices the same. So no, we've not been needing to discount anything. Another thing that we do offer is winter rentals. So this is a different thing, and you'll learn more about this in the taxation seminar that we have, but we can also offer up to a few months of winter rentals. And with that, what I would recommend is that you offer a slight discount from the weekly rates, and then you're guaranteeing that income through the winter. So if you have bought property in the central Algarve, for example, where you're less likely to book those weeks at full price, then we can say, okay, we have this couple who are retired and they're over in the Algarve and they're looking to spend 2 months in Villamora. They will pay a monthly fee, and then I would speak with you myself and say, okay, I'd recommend that you charge them this amount per month, which is maybe like 10 or 20% discount on your weekly rate, and then include bills up to a certain amount so that you know that you're not going to be out of pocket. And then we look after them while they're here. So that's another option as well. For those of you who were more thinking about the central Algarve, that's a good option. But we do those winter rentals all across the Algarve. I mean, in the western Algarve as well. We have people staying for up to a few months at a time. And we have clients that return each year as well. And we end up building quite a good relationship with them. And they just call me for a chat, and that's fine, that's nice. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to speak to you on a one-on-one basis. And I'm sure my colleagues will be as well if you're looking at purchasing property. If you haven't bought your property yet, then they can help you. And one of our sales consultants can show you around when you come to the Algarve, or provide virtual tours. Something we're doing at the moment for those of you who can't get here, and then we can give you specific rental estimates on properties that you like, so you can know exactly what would work for you. You know, because right now I'm just giving a general speech, and I know that a lot of people would want to know, okay, so what are the figures, what's the nitty-gritty, and that's fine. We can do that when you find the properties that you're actually interested in. More than happy to have a chat with you, and we can go from there.
So we have a couple of questions regarding the East, and I think the reason that we normally start off with Lagos and West Algarve is because we know that if you're buying a rental investment, that's where you're going to get the most rental income. But we have got lots of clients that want to rent in the East. So do you want to just give an overview on the difference between purchasing and renting in Lagos as opposed to Tavira, and what the season, how it changes?
Okay, no worries. So, so the Western Algarve, you pay more for a property, but your return will be higher because your income, you charge more in the West. So you can charge up to 2,500 a week on a 2-bedroom apartment in Lagos in the summer. Whereas in the Eastern Algarve, it's up to 1,500 a week. So there is quite a difference there in your rental income, but that balances with the price of the property. I love the Eastern Algarve because it's very traditional. It's more quaint, you get a lot of locals there, it's more residential, and it's just very, very nice. I mean, for those of you who have been, you'll understand, and for those of you who haven't been, you need to come and see it, because it's just completely different to the west. It varies so much. The east in Algarve, you have like a boardwalk of traditional Portuguese cafes and restaurants. You can jump on a water taxi for less than €5, and it takes you to the islands in the east, which feel like the Caribbean when you're there, because the water's clear, the sand is gold. Really, really nice, and a good place to have a property. The west is, I'd say it's more upmarket. It's more discovered, more people know about it now than they used to, but it's very, very popular with people from all over the world. The eastern Algarve is similar in some ways, but it's less discovered at the moment. And over the next few years, it will come up. It will come up to be like the west. The western Algarve is more rugged with its coast. The beaches are longer, big stretches of sand. It's a lovely place as well. For me, if I was looking purely for investment and I had the money, I would buy in the west for rentals. In my current position, I don't. So maybe as a starting point, I would buy somewhere in the eastern Algarve and start renting it, and then look with a view to eventually purchase in the west if I was looking purely for rental investment.
Yeah, and the thing is, sorry, go on.
Just a little bit on pricing there. So when we're looking at the west, so a really good rental opportunity in the west would be an off-plan, newly built property, say a 2-bedroom apartment, good outdoor space, and you're talking around the 280 to 350 mark to achieve that. Whereas when you look in the east, there's opportunities in the east where you'll get, say, a development that's been modernised. It was built a bit ago, but it's been modernised, and you can get something there for about 170 for a 2-bedroom apartment, walking distance to the beach. So there's quite a big difference in the price at the moment. These prices are rising in the east, I will say that, because the all of the Algarve is always rising, but they rise at slightly a higher pace. But again, it's the rental income over in the west, like Megan says, is going to be a lot higher than what you're going to get in the east. It depends how much money you've got at the moment, how much cash you've got to spend, on where you actually should focus your rental investment. Can't see the prices changing at all when for purchasing. So this is it's kind of slowed down a little bit in how many people are buying, but the prices haven't really changed. We've got a few bargains out there that mainly are developers offering like free condominium fees, things like that, rather than a reduction in the prices. The Algarve is so sought after. There's a very minimal amount of property here, and always will be, because of the building restrictions. And so that means that when this ends and the flights start again, the demand is going to be just as big as it were before. So the prices will not decrease, they will carry on increasing. So if you bought something now, you're liable to get some kind of offer within there, but in a few weeks they won't be there. And the reason that the rentals are so good is because it's a very good popular holiday destination. It's not a massive area, and there's not very many hotels. So again, as soon as this starts again, the prices will remain the same. It's just a little tiny hiccup in the middle of this year that I'm sure once we get over it, it could be exactly the same as it were before.
Definitely. This is an interesting question. We've got two, so I'll start with Jeff's asking, what platforms do we use to market the properties that we manage?
Okay, so we use a variety of platforms. That includes HomeAway, which then branches out to Expedia Group and a lot of different portals, Airbnb, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and our own website, which is Ideal Homes Rentals.
And then the other question was, obviously we talk a lot about apartments in Lagos and in East and whatever. Where are the villas that are pulling good income? And Lisa's asking, how can we get information on properties that we've got that you know, if you don't want to buy an apartment, you want to buy a villa and you want to start renting it out, where would you suggest buying?
Well, Most of our villas are in the central Algarve because it's more popular to have villas there. And that's the one I told you about where he's making more than 50,000 a year on his villa. We also have villas in Lagos. So, you know, there are villas everywhere in the Algarve, and wherever you have a villa, it's going to rent. So Charlie can give you more information about what's currently available and the good deals that we have on villas in the Algarve.
So I'm just answering a question from Hayley, and she's saying, are the restaurants and things like that starting to open up? And I've just said that, you know, after work we're probably going to go around the corner, have a bottle of wine and some pizza, because you can kind of you can order at the front of the restaurant, and then you can stand or sit outside. But I think in the next couple of weeks they'll start allowing people to go in, and as long as it's not more than 50% full, going to start to open up. But I think we'd rather sit outside anyway because of the good weather.
Yeah, I think actually it's from Monday that most of the restaurants, the restaurants have got the option to open up at 50% capacity. And to be honest, at the moment, like you say, a lot of people are doing takeaway, and they're doing very, very well on takeaway. I think the restaurants would rather stay as takeaway than have 50% in, because they're doing more takeaways than there were actual sit-down meals. It's a way of people getting out and socialising at a distance, even if it's only while you wait for your takeaway. But yes, next week the restaurants will start opening again.
So we're getting quite a lot of questions, so I will leave all of our emails in case we haven't answered yours, and sorry if we have missed it. We've got a question: are you folks not expecting a spike in the fall for the virus? Your comments seem to ignore that possibility. You know, we can't be sure. We've done really well with the virus because obviously we shut down before the UK and before Spain did. We just can't be sure. We're starting to open up, but we're going to have masks and sanitizer and everything, so you just never really know, do you?
The thing is with the Algarve, especially, it's been controlled extremely well. The Portuguese people, they're very accommodating. They're a very relaxed, chilled kind of people. And basically, weeks before the UK closed down, the president went on and said, guys, please stay indoors, be sensible, do not mix. And the Portuguese did, just like that, straight away. There was no policing of it, there was nothing. It's the type of people they are. They just did as they were told, went home. And basically we've had hardly any cases in comparison to a lot of people. So at the moment, and all the way through it, it has felt relaxed. It hasn't felt like intense or anything here. It's felt like, yeah, we'll be sensible. We'll not do what we usually do, where we're all going to the bars and mixing. But we've still been able to relax and enjoy it as much as possible. And so I think that's the thing with it, is we're starting to open up now, but the slightest thing they will say, hang on, just go home, sit tight, maybe a few days, and then reassess it. It's just the way that they are here. It's just a really lovely, relaxed place.
They comply.
Yeah, I mean, we're the third safest country in the world, and it shows whatever happens here, it always comes through that you can feel that within it all the time.
That's why I stayed here. This is an interesting question, and I think it will help a lot of people. So Harish is asking, T2, I was batting a fly away, T2 plus 1 apartments, do we advertise them as T2 plus 1? Do we advertise it as a 3-bed? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, no worries. So it depends on how your license comes through. So we will be there for the inspection for the license, and we will show them the property. It also depends on the plans of the property. Sometimes they will grant you the 3rd bedroom, and sometimes they won't. So we have to advertise you as the license says. So it's called the RNAL license, and that license is separate to your AL license, but it's connected. And it's how the government allow you to advertise your property. So we need to advertise it as it states on the RNAL license. So if that states sleep 6, then by all means we will. If that states sleeps 4, then we would have to advertise it as a sleeps 4 property. Sometimes what we're able to do is, as long as it's in line with the authorities, is we can advertise it as a 2-bedroom apartment but sleep 6. And that would mean you buying a sofa bed to go in the 3rd bedroom or to go in the living area, and that would enable you then to sleep 6 and charge more for your rentals.
Quite a lot of people have been asking, just say you buy a 2-bed, 2-bath, and you make around 20,000 per year. After costs and taxes and everything, how much are you left with? I think this is, you know, it completely depends, because if you've got a villa, you might have to clean it more maintenance. So it completely depends. So I think, yeah, we'll leave our emails and Megan can answer this in depth, and you can have a realistic overview of what you're going to be left with at the end of the year.
So just a little add-on, because I know people are asking as well also about is it best to buy a villa with its own pool or buy an apartment with a communal pool? So there's always costs come within, obviously, everything you purchase. So if you've got a villa and you've got a pool, you'll need someone to maintain that pool. If you're in a condominium and you've got a shared pool, you'll pay condominium fees, which will, within that, will pay to look after the pool. So your condominium fees will vary. So it's something really to look into when you are purchasing a rental property, is the more that you have within your development, the more condominium fees you will pay. So if you've got a gym, you've got lots of grounds, you've got lifts, things like that, swimming pools, more than one swimming pool, you're going to pay more fees. So if you've got none of those, your fees might only be something like €30 a month if it's not got the outdoor space and things like that. So it's something to consider, but you've also got to consider that your clients that are going to rent it might want the pools and the swimming pool, the gyms and things like that, and you will be able to charge a higher rent on that. And that's where it comes into when you come over and you view a property. The sales consultant that takes you out to view that property will give you the figures individually of what you're liable to get in return and what your costs are going to be, in such as condominium fees and things like that.
Oh, I keep muting myself by accident. So how long would securing the license take normally? Is it a quick process?
It's a very, very quick process. It can take up to a few weeks. Once the property is yours, or if you already own the property, then it's, yeah, over here it's a very quick process. We can recommend an accountant that we use and we know are quick and reliable, but it's completely up to you who you choose to do your license with. But yes, that's very minor, and it's something that's very speedy, and once we have that, you're ready to go.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions, or should we leave our emails for you? And just to go over it again, if you are looking to get a bargain, now is a really good time to do that. And if you can't come over, or you want to save money on not traveling, you can buy from where you are. We're doing virtual tours, and it would be good to get an investment now, so that when the borders do open up, people can start renting out your property, or, you know, obviously we can rent it out to the Portuguese. But we have got one more question. Hayley's asking, would the solicitor not assist with the license on a new build property?
So the lawyers are able to provide your rental license for you at a cost. It's up to you which way we do it. So we can ask the lawyer to do that for you, or we can recommend an accountant. The accountants will then do your annual taxation and your tax return and things like that, but they will go into that more with you on our next webinar, the ins and outs of that and the benefits of doing it with them. I personally would recommend doing it that way, because then you know your tax is taken care of for the whole year. But yeah, we can go into that separately. More than happy to give more information on that next time.
Can I just add as well on to the fact that we're doing virtual tours at the moment, and you can purchase now. If you are looking for a rental investment, your rental investment should always be about where it is, the costs, and what you're going to bring in. So you don't always necessarily have to come over and view it. It's not about walking into it and having that feeling. It's about the figures. So at the moment, like I say, we've got some developers that are offering free condominium fees for 2 years. We can offer free rental management and things like that. So if you're seriously interested in buying a rental investment right now, then get in touch with us. We will do a virtual tour of the area. And I mean, if it's an off plan, there's nothing really much to look at. It is again about the figures. So this is a good opportunity right now to be able to get involved and do that. So just please get in touch with us if you want us to find you that right one.
Okay, so I will leave everyone's emails and the websites and everything. And I think this was quite a fun webinar. Yeah, we will cover all the taxes and all the boring things another time, but I think this one was a good one to talk about the rental income that you can make. So I'm just going to leave some of our emails and websites below.
I'm just going to add on to someone's been saying about the train. Do people drive down or take the train as they hear that it isn't reliable? To be honest, the train service here is fantastic. I go to Lisbon quite a lot, and I pay something like €25 for the journey. That's first class, and it's always on time. You can guarantee that train will be there. Admittedly, they're not there every 10 minutes. You need to know when it is. I say I think it's an hour or every 2 hours each day. And it goes from the east of the Algarve all the way up to Lisbon and then on to Porto. Very reliable, and the cost of it is very good. If I go to Lisbon, I'd rather go on the train than go in the car, because it's scenic, it's enjoyable, you relax, you've got the trolley man comes down with the sandwich and the cups of coffee or a beer. You can always get a beer anywhere in Portugal, no matter what you're doing. So yeah, I advise me to go on the train. It is a good journey.
Or I normally get Bolt and Uber. Bolt costs me about €5 for about a 15-minute drive, because I currently don't drive and I come to work every day using Bolt, so it's very cheap. Thank you, everyone. It's been a lovely webinar, and this will be on YouTube for you all to watch. And I've left all of our emails and our website in the chat.
Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.